Alright, that's better. I try not to disturb this tank. Some gonnies. Just frag some gonnies, they're doing good. Hey, what's up reefers? I'm Reefer Matt and welcome back to the Reef Cave. Today's video is going to be the July update. We got a lot to talk about, so let's get to it. Alright, first we'll talk about the SBS tank. And as you can see, I got all the doors and lids off. The tank's been heating up a little bit. I added some equipment and it is summertime, it's been pretty hot out. So I gotta get a fan put back on here. I used to have one but it broke. So right now I got the lids off. Right above the tank I do have an AC register there, so that kind of helps. But I'm just letting the tank cool off. So that's why all the lids are off and the doors are open so you can see my ugly sump. This tank's been doing pretty good lately. Much better than back in February. Let's see here. I did get some new coral from when I visited Cherry Corals. I picked up these guys here. The one on the right is Battle Corals Bubble Bath Unicorn, and the one on the left is PC Rainbow. And I've had those for about a month or so now, and they're doing pretty good. So I just made that little frag rack, and I'm just keeping them back there just to keep an eye on them. I didn't want to put them in my frag tank just yet. I want to see how they do in this tank. Little fishies are doing good. I just fed them, so they're nice and happy. Tomorrow I got to do a water change. As you can see in the bottom here, I got some detritus and some snail shells and stuff I got to pick up. This Montipora is sort of coming back, but as you can see, the Leptocerus there, this orange one, and this green Pavona, they're just beating the crap out of it still. And they're just kind of doing their thing there, but pretty soon this Jedi Mind Trick Montipora will be no more there, so I don't know if I'll find another spot for it now. I do have more in my frag tank, but as you can see, it has pretty much lost the battle. But no problem. That's what happens when you have this much coral growing out. It is growing into each other. There's winners and losers. And I just try to trim them just to sort of keep the peace. There's the Walt Disney Acropora there. It's doing pretty good. And I'm making sure I'm trimming its neighbor down here. I don't know what Acropora this is. It was a maricultured coral when I got it. And it's doing pretty good. It grew out from a little frag. I had to frag it because the coral, well, the colony that it was, STN'd on me, and then the frag survived. So this is a couple years later, and this is what it looks like. And we'll have a top view here in a second to look at those. But those are doing pretty good. I did increase my flow. If you've seen my shorts video, I added this little Hydro Wave Maker back here. It's sort of like a half a gyre, and that's perfect because then it won't be blowing on the top of these Acropora here. So you can see that there. It kind of just returns the flow all the way back over to that side of the tank there. So if I back up, you can see that. So that's helping a lot actually, because I was having problems with detritus settling because I have a lot of urchins in this tank and they make a lot of detritus. So that's helping with that. Otherwise I gotta blow it off the rocks. But it's also helping with the coral too and circulating the water, because as you can imagine I got some dead spots, especially in this little valley right here, where flow really can't get in there. So I will be doing a review on that. Higer did send that to me to do a review, and I'm sort of doing a reverse review on it. I'm actually using it first, and then we'll kind of go backwards from there, and I'll let you know what I think of it. But so far I like it, but I've only had it for a couple days. And this yellow tip is doing really nice. Check that out. It's getting a lot of branches to it, and that's becoming one of my favorite coral. It's nice and colorful, and it's a healthy coral, and I really like it. And then this one next to it, I've had my frag tank forever, and it's starting to take off a little bit more too, and it's getting different colors to it. And it's almost looking just like this yellow tip here. As you can see, it's got its own little yellow tips. It's almost like it's the same coral. It's just a little bit different growth pattern to it, so I don't know if it is or not. Let me know in the comments what you think. Here, I'll zoom out a little bit. See those two? Are those the same coral or not? I don't know. As far as the species go anyway. These back here are growing out too. All this little Acropora back there. We'll take a top view of that in a minute. But that's starting to really take off. And then this one here is looking cool too. But yeah, this tank's come along pretty good. I did get some ICP tests and I sent out for that. And I'm not looking really for a problem. I'm just looking to improve. So if there's any room for improvement, I want to try it and see what the results are. At least try it for a little while. So I'll let you know what those results are. And I'll post my test results from today on here. I still have to test my nitrate and phosphate. I didn't do that yet because I had to work today. And I worked on the 4th of July too. But, you know, bills are due, so got to do what I got to do. But let's take a look at the top view of the tank, and I'll show you what's up with that. All right, I got the flow off. And as you can see, it's just coral piled on top of coral in here. If you're new to the channel, welcome. This is my 75-gallon SBS tank. It is 6 years old. And I just like to look up here and you can really see what the problems are. You know, what's growing into what. Like this coral right here is browning out right there. It's still alive because it had its feeding filaments out earlier. But maybe the ICP test will show me something on why that's going on. But the rest of them are looking pretty good. As you can see here, you can see the polyps are out on this Walt Disney Acropora, Walt Disney Tenuous, and this one's actually getting some cool blue and purple tips to it also. I don't know if the camera will pick them up as good, but it's looking pretty cool too. And I got Pasillipora growing everywhere. It's not, this particular one I have, I guess is not as bad as some of them are, but it is growing in spots like over here on the side of the tank. And it's growing on the return there, and it's growing on the UV return there. So it does pop up in other spots, as well as this right here. This Acropora is looking cool too. Check that out. If I can focus on it. But I like the shaggy Acropora, like the millies and that one's looking really special. And this whole mess of Acropora here, I don't know what species this is. But I got it from a buddy about 3 or 4 years ago, and it just took off everywhere. So that's kind of my little Acropora alley there, as I call it. And it's starting to color up a little bit too. There we go. I had a little something on my lens there, so I got it fixed. But then the Smatophora's here coming back. Oh, I'll show you something cool too. In case you're wondering which corals beat what. So we have 3 different coral here. So I can focus on them. So you got 24K Leptocerus here. You got green Pavona there in the middle. And we also have some Matsopora here on the right. That's supposed to be castaway. It's recovering from the issue back in February. I'll put a link to that right here if you want to watch it, if you're on your phone. But as you can see, Leptocerus beats Pavona, and Pavona beats Matsopora. So, and that's sort of similar to what I'm seeing over here as well. And then also, obviously Acropora beats a lot of things, but Stylophora also beats Matsopora capricornus. As you can see right there. My camera's not picking it up so well from there. Maybe it would be better down this way. There we go. See that? So what it'll do is it'll kill the coral, and then it'll just grow over it and take over. And that's what they all want to do. They want to take up as much real estate as possible. But just thought I'd share that with you. And then I got this Hollywood Stunner Chalice back here that I want to get rid of, but it keeps growing. It's like the only LPS, I guess you could call it, that's in this tank. And then I have some Matsopora setosa down there. So that is the 75-gallon SBS tank. And it's doing pretty good. All right, now for Puffy's tank. This is the 135-gallon FOWLER tank. I have 6 fish in here, and they're all big boys. There's Finn, the mascot of the channel. Puffy's like, no, he's not. I am. Check him out. Puffy's cool, too. I've had Puffy the longest. I've had him about 6 years. And Finn I've had for a couple of years. I had him when he was a juvenile, and then he changed into his adult pattern there, and he looks really cool. Brownie the bicolor, or Fiji foxface. Bandit the Huma Huma trigger. And I still haven't named this guy. Give me a name for this guy. this burrfish here. He's a really cool fish. I sort of named him Butthead, but that's not really a nice name. And then Leonidas, the big old violetin lionfish. And all of these guys eat very well. They're actually pretty mild mannered as far as I go, but I know better. I'm not going to try to pet them all. But I just got done feeding them too, and they're all doing pretty good. It's a pain to keep this front glass clean, not only because of the algae, but they like to splash a lot. So a lot of the time I get that, that salt water dripping down the tank here, and then I try to wipe it off, and of course it smears everywhere. So, I just got to keep at it, I guess. But these guys are doing really good, and maybe I'll start doing videos on taking care of these fish, because these guys are pretty cool, and I know some people are interested in fish like these. But these guys are doing good also, and that's the 135-gallon FOWLER tank. All right, well, this tank, as you can see, I did not clean the glass on, so we're going to have to look through the top to see what it is. But this is my SBS frag tank, so let's have a look. All right, that's better. I try not to disturb this tank. I was having some issues with some macropora. I was getting some STN in a lot of them, and I lost a few, so I don't want to interfere with the tank if I can help it, by cleaning the glass or whatever, because this is just a frag tank, so nobody really sees it except for you. Nobody's coming over here. But this tank, all in all, is doing good. Just a few little coral here and there I'm losing, but the rest are looking really good. What I ended up doing is I printed these frag racks out. That's my business, Frenchy Frags Aquaculture. These racks are lower than the other ones, and what I wanted was something smoother on top than my other racks that I had. The other racks I had were like a honeycomb, and I was getting a whole bunch of algae and stuff in between them. So this is more of a flat area on top, but I also made them lower, and the coral really liked it. I must have had my lights up too high, or it just wasn't enough flow with the racks that were higher, because this is a very shallow tank. It's only like a foot deep. So maybe they were just sitting up too high, but now the coral, for the most part, really seemed to love it. Like I said, with a few exceptions, but like this down here, look at this. Focus on that. My fish will stop. See this acro here? That one's coloring up really good. I'm getting some decent growth on a lot of these. And then this one here, look at that. It's really starting to get just a whole bunch of different colors. I've had this thing forever. I don't even remember where I got it or how long I've had it for. It's been in here for a long time, I know that. And it's finally starting to get little nubs, and those nubs are turning blue and green and yellow, and I'm getting kind of excited on this one too. So I might have to do some more testing on this tank too, some ICP testing, once I see if I'm short on any elements with my other tank, and maybe apply it to this tank too. There's some more of that Jedi mind trick I was talking about. I have a ton of it. And also the castaway, but I pretty much keep backups of everything in the SBS tank in here, except for the Disney knock on plastic. So maybe I want to do that. This one right here is doing pretty good. That's a Battle Corals one there. That one's a Master Yoda next to it. And that one's finally starting to get color to it. Check that out. I've had that for a year or two, and it was just green the whole time. And this guy's super bright over here. Geez, look at that. I almost need sunglasses to look at that coral. That one's doing really good too. But I'm also getting new growth. Where is it? Right there. See that? Look how long those polyps are compared to the old polyps. I was happy to see that. But yeah, I mean, once I put these new racks in, things just started to happen. And all in all, it's pretty good. Like I said, with just a few little coral here and there that weren't doing good. And then I have this big old elegance. That's Nemo Jr.'s elegance. I just leave it in here because I have a clownfish in all the other tanks with coral in them. And I didn't want to take this out because he enjoys, oh, there he is. He enjoys his coral or anemone. You know, we won't tell him it's a coral, but he enjoys it, so I don't want to move it. Because I also have another one in another tank too. But then I have some Stylophora there. and some pink stylo over there. But a lot of these will be going with me to the Lansing Summer Show on July 27th here in Lansing, Michigan. And I'll post a link to that with all the info. Just in case you're in the area and you want to check it out, come say hi. Look at that one too. Don't really want to focus, but it's getting some color to it. But yeah, I'll bring some of these with me too. And I hope to see you there. So this is the little 45-gallon SBS tank. All right, now for the tank that's kind of hard to record because of the lights. This has the current Orbit R24 lights, but they do the job, so that's why they're on there. I had them, and I tried them out, and I'm not crazy about the spectrum on them, but I got it on all blues. The corals don't seem to mind now. There's that other elegance I was talking about. That guy came back in its glory. It was shrinking up there for a while, and I was keeping an eye on it and babying it and stuff and feeding it, and finally it came back, so that's cool. I just did a water change on this tank about a week ago, and everybody's happy about it, as you can see. Got a little urchin in there to help me keep the glass and everything clean. This tank I fight hair algae in, so every once in a while I'll take the racks out one at a time and I'll dip them in peroxide. Check out this guy. He wants to eat something. Both of them do. Look at that. I just fed the fish in this tank too, so maybe that's why they're, oh, them too. Maybe that's why they're looking like they want to eat. Maybe they want some reefroids. I do have that. So those acans there are, oh, I think they call them blastos now, or micromusa. That's what they call them. Micromusas. They're not acan lords anymore. Torches are doing cool. I got this from Cherry Corals also, and that is a New York Nix. And the one over here is Cherry Corals 21 tails, and this one didn't really have a name. Maybe you could tell me what the name for that one is, but they're all slightly different, as you can see, and I like them. They're cool. I just made some frags of this back here. I'll call that Green Goblin Favia. And I have some frog spawn there. Some Ghanies. Just fragged some Ghanies. They're doing good. I'll be bringing those to the show with me too. And then some cool Zoas. Zoas do better in this tank than my softy tank for some reason. So I think I'm going to make a switch and just put them in here instead, because I've tried everything with the other tank that we'll see here in a little bit, and they just do better in this tank now. So I think I'm just going to make a rack that's sort of similar to my other racks. It's more flat on the top. This is like that honeycomb design I was talking about before, where all the algae, as you can see, likes to get in there. I'll make it a little more flat in between, and then that way the algae won't want to attach, and also if the zoa is attached to it, I can just peel them up. There's some fireworks cloves back there. I just fragged those. They're doing good. There's some chalices and moon coral, favites, and all kinds of cool stuff. And someday I'll frag this Raja Rampage again, but I'm just enjoying it now because it finally colored back up. It took it like a year to finally get back its color from moving it from tanks and everything. So I'm happy that that's going on too. Whoops, sorry about that. So yeah, things are going good in this tank. I do dose alpha reef in this tank, and I use reef crystal salt. There's some cool acans there. And this is the 50-gallon mixed frag tank, and it's doing pretty good. All right, I just turned off the flow to this tank, and I don't know if you could tell or not how big these are on your screen. Probably not. Well, I got a clownfish in there. Look at that. He's in a toadstool. See that? That's his new anemone. Don't tell him it's a coral. But see, I'll try not to spook him. Let me zoom back out a little bit. So if you compare it to my hand, see how big that coral is? Bigger than my hand. So that kind of gives you an idea on both of these. And then also, this bounce is pretty big too. That's the size of the palm of my hand. I just let that thing go. I don't even try to frag it. It just makes its own babies. And then once one pops off, then I put it on a frag plug and offer it. But yeah, that's Nemo the butthead. He likes to bite fingers. Don't they all? And then he was hanging out in there. I got some elephant ears here that I'm going to try separate off and put on a frag plug. I don't know how well that's going to work, but I can't really do anything with them because they act more like anemones, and they just kind of move around, you know, and they do what they want. The rest of the coral in here, doing okay. Here's some zoas here. Those are not aptasias. Those are sun polyps. They're related to zoas. I can't remember their exact names, but they're not aptasia. People think they're aptasia all the time, but they're actually yellow and white light. But the zoas in here, they're okay. I did lose a lot of them, but the rest of these are doing pretty good. But I'd like to just get them out of here and grow more stuff like these big softy colonies here, and more mushrooms also. There's another cool, I think that's a disco in there, discosoma. Might be a rhodactis, I can't tell. But I'd like to get into more of the mushrooms like that. And then I still have chunks from the 75-gallon SPS tank. There's some Pasillipora there. Obviously, it's not as colored as it used to be with the green and everything. And then I have some stylo over there, some Stylophora, bird's nest, and then some Montipora digitata. These are pretty much browned out because they're not under the brightest lights. I just have Kessel A160s on them. But to keep them alive until I can figure out what to do with them, those are coral that people don't really want, and I don't want to just throw them away because they're animals. So I'll figure something to do with them someday. But for the rest of the coral in here, obviously I got to tend to those sun polyps because they're just growing everywhere now. I made a little frag of this Nepthia. That's from that over there. But and there's a Lobophilia there. That guy's kind of, it was in the other tank, but it seems to like this tank better. So it's kind of weird. Some corals like certain tanks. Maybe it has to do with the lighting and the flow, obviously, but I don't know. The nutrients between this tank and my other frag tank are pretty similar, so it's got to be a lighting and flow issue. These are doing pretty good. I got to frag these up. See how they're just kind of spreading everywhere? Yeah, this tank's doing pretty good. I just did a water change on it the other day, so no complaints really lately on it. Well, that'll do it for this video. I appreciate you guys hanging out. I'm Reefer Matt. Thank you for watching, and happy reefing.